Switch focus. Avinash Godkhindi, MD and CEO at Zaggle, coming in to speak to us. Avinash, very good morning to you. Talk to us about the latest win for you in terms of your journey. I just believe it's a step in the longer journey that you take in terms of 40-45% growth that you're guiding for, very, very steep growth. But talk to us about what this does in terms of adding to that client list.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. And, the 40-45% growth, actually, if you ask me, in the coming quarters and years can be even higher, because we are talking about 40-45%, which is just organic, and we're being calibrated about what we share. The tailwinds are tremendous. We just signed up, for example, with Viva Fashions. There are about 280 stores. This is basically our branch recurring operating monthly expenses platform, which covers for petty cash, utility bills, rentals, and anybody who has a store, right, knows these problems, that the petty cash doesn't reconcile. There is some amount of leakage. There is, compliance issues. A lot of time gets wasted in resolving this, and that's seamlessly solved by us through, our platform, leveraging UPI. So that's something which we see in the coming, quarters only growing.
And Avinash, one concern is the negative operating cash flow in a business like yours. Reconcile that for us. How exactly does the business model play into a negative operating cash flow? Can you explain that to us?
At the end of the day, a lot of our receivables are either from banks or corporates, right? So in B2B businesses, there is a certain amount of cash that does get deployed, because there's a 30-day, spends, and then post that 30 to 60 days for the invoice to get cleared. Having said that, we've historically been cash flow positive for the largest part of our journey. And as we've, dialed into hyper growth or more growth, some amount of capital has got invested. And the current cash flow scenario is largely due to seasonality, we explained on the call as well. When it comes to Dussehra and Diwali, corporates do expect, that we support them, and we've done that previously as well. So that was the key reason why we had a bit of a this thing on the cash flow side. That's it.
And Avinash, the margin uptick that you are hopeful will come through or aspiring for, is that largely driven by the top line growth that will come through in the coming years? Is the scale will the scale aid the margins, is what I'm trying to get to, or are there other efficiencies as well which you'll try to tap into?
See, there's operating leverage in this business,
sure,
right? You build a software, you build a platform, you invest in API integrations with partnerships, and then basically you have a recurring revenue, either on the transactions or on the software, or on both. So you don't need to invest money continuously for those contracts to generate, revenue for you beyond the servicing cost, which is much lower than, the acquisition cost and the product building cost, right? So that is a big driver of, expansion in our margins, both current and going forward. We see that growth obviously is always good. The other piece, which I think we've not spoken of enough, is pricing power goes up when you're the market leader. And today we are the market leader in India in spend management, and we are seeing that pricing power really kick in, where we are able to command a better price from corporates because they start to value what you bring to the table. There's much more certainty that if we are going with Zaggle, they're going to do a very good job of, taking care of our requirements, and companies are willing to pay, a higher price in terms of SaaS fees, etc. for that. And that's what we are now beginning to see.
Avinash, when the market looks at Zaggle, they look at that 46 times PE that the stock is currently trading at. But, with the numbers that you just highlighted, I mean, we're looking at a 3,500 crore rupee of top line by FY28. Tell me, what are the levers in place?
So our guidance is $1 billion in 7 years. Aisha, we've spoken of that, and we are on track for that. And also highlighting that, look, in the fintech space, we are one of the few that's profitable. So, in fact, if you look at some of the articles in the popular press recently, it came out clearly that compared to some of the other fintech companies, whom we don't necessarily call peers because they're not spend management companies, but the market perceives us as, folks of the same space, we come out much cheaper compared to some of the other names. So, as you would know better than I do, the valuations are more art than a science. We are focused on delivering value both to our customers as well as our partners. And as you see the tailwinds of digitization in India, where else will companies go when they want to digitize their spends? It has to be Zaggle. That's the name that comes in today. And we are doing everything in our powers to make sure that it stays that way and that market leadership increases by the day. Both using AI, both using technology, as well as building more credibility, trust. And the 19 banks that we have as partners today is a testament of the fact that we have basically been able to convince banks and corporates that we are the best in the spend management space in India today.
But Avinash, I must tell you, it's not art or science, it's just pure math, valuation.
I'm not even going there, Aisha. I'm more focused on making those maths in my business work for my operating leverage to increase, my EBITDA to increase, and my cash flows to get better. That's our focus. The valuation, we leave it to the street.
I get that.
Avinash, two possible downside risks, and just trying to play devil's advocate here.
Yes.
One could be competition coming in and disrupting you, being relatively a smaller player, right? And second is how sticky is the business? Give us a sense on both of those.
See, we'll take the second one first. That answers the first partly as well, right? We have today ERP, HRMS, CRM integrations with these 3,600 plus companies. Very hard to make those integrations. We have API integrations with our bank partners as well. Very hard to do that. We also have a broad range of solutions or offerings across the same platform, which is for employees, for channel partners, for vendors. So in a single API integration through your ERP, you're getting multiple products which cater to multiple needs. You don't need to integrate again and again. Plus, we embed payments. Plus, we monetize heavily on the payments or transactions. So we subvent or subsidize the software fees. The value that we bring, for example, in a solution like Brome is, ensuring that the leakage goes down by 20 to 30%. What we charge is, a fraction of that, right? An absolute fraction of that. So from a corporate perspective, with so much value coming in and so much credibility having got established over the years, it seems to be a no-brainer to be with us, to be very honest. And we welcome competition. If more companies want to come and play here, where you have to do a full-fledged issuance side integration with partner banks and all the API integrations with corporates, as well as create this software platform, it's good for the country. The more people come in and talk about spend management, you'll start to see that to become a very established category. I always say, 30 years ago, ERPs were unknown. Today, ERPs, most people associate it with names like SAP, Oracle Fusion. 10 years down the line, we believe we will be the name that will be associated with spend management. People will know about spend management and people will say spend management is Zaggle, right? At least from a recall perspective. In India and globally, we aspire to be a top 5 player, ideally a top 3 in the next decade. If not a top 3, then at least a top 5.
Okay, great to hear that, Avinash, and thank you as always for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, that's the word coming in from the Zaggle management, aspirations, and of course the levers in place as well for all of that.